What's up, YouTube? Not so Team Fair 2 back today. So I haven't made a video in a while. It's not gonna lie, I've been addicted to Tales of Berseria. Oh my gosh, that game is great. I love it so much. But yeah. Anyway, I want to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh today because recently some new rules have been announced, and one of them I really like. I think it actually helps, and then the other one, it addresses an issue that I agree with. It was an issue, but it addresses it in a way that honestly, I'm not saying I'm gonna quit. I'm still gonna play Yu-Gi-Oh, but right now, honestly, I have no interest in playing Yu-Gi-Oh. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. So anyway, we have Link monsters. Actually, no. Let me just think I like first, because that's gonna take less time. Which is, where is it? Here we go. So, this. Actually, I think this is the same image. Yeah, it is. So the first ruling change that I like, oh, they actually have Dark Paladin as a fusion represented. That's pretty lit. Is that pendulum zones are no longer a thing. You just put pendulum cards in your normal summon trap zone, which is cool because before it was like, oh, pendulum summon and like step 5 back row. Yeah, 'cause that's freaking fair. And I play pendulums IRL. I play Odd Eyes Magician IRL. So, yeah. And when it's like, oh, well, you're just hating on pendulums. Like, no, I play that IRL, and I even agree that's freaking stupid. So yeah. That's okay though. I mean, cause basically pendulums are pretty nuts. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, they have that insane, like, oh, I can just get pendulum back every turn, and unless you can crack my scales, I mean, basically, there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, Turn Twister kind of helped players with that issue, but pendulum's still pretty freaking strong. So yeah, that I am very okay with. By all means, go for it. I'm a big fan of that. What I am not a big fan of is Link monsters and the limitations that Link monsters bring. So the first very, very obvious issue with Link monsters is, or actually this kind of addressed another issue that has been sort of creeping up on people, but I feel like there have been like discussions about this here and there, which is the issue that, so basically now we have to include Link. You have to play Link monsters. Like there's honestly no if, ands, or buts to it. You have to play them. Like, unless you're playing something like Lightsworn or, yeah, Lightsworn is basically like the only thing that comes to mind that like, or Dark Magician, or no, Blue Eyes really does need Blue Eyes really can go in the extra deck unless you're playing like Chaos Max or Bus. But like, unless you're playing something like that, like where you don't need your extra deck, you have to play Link monsters. There's no if, ands, or buts to it. You have to play them. The reason being that now you can only have one extra deck monster out on your field, not on your field, but you can only summon them to your extra deck zone, which you only have one of. Otherwise, you cannot summon an extra deck monster. So there's that big issue. If you want to summon multiple extra deck monsters, you need a Link monster, which is. So I mean, they can kind of address this by expanding the extra deck space to like, honestly, I want to say to 25, because basically, if you crack the Link monster, you're gonna kind of crack the extra deck sort of thing, because you're gonna need multiple Link monsters. You're probably gonna. I'm not gonna say like, oh, you need this amount, but I'm gonna say probably right now you're gonna run about 3 or 4, depending on what we have available as Link monsters. So yeah, you're gonna need about 3 or 4 Link monsters. I'm gonna say that's just an estimate. Don't take that as a word of Bible. Granted, I'm not really like that great of a Yu-Gi-Oh player, but whatever. That's beside the point. So yeah, you're going to need a Link monster. You're gonna need Link monsters if you want to summon extra deck monsters. So the Link monsters have these like arrows like on them that kind of like extend the link. Like they link the zones. I guess that's why they're calling it that. So yeah, that is a thing. But Sorry about that. My grandmother's here and doesn't know how to knock and will bang on the door when it's locked, meaning do not bother, do not disturb. Anyway, back to my original point, which was the link monsters. So they kind of like link your zone. So you have to play them. There's no if, ands, or buts about them. It's not like before where you didn't have to play pendulums. Freaking my friend Zero, he didn't play pendulums until I want to say two sets ago. He didn't play pendulums. He pretty much made it through the entire format without playing pendulums because Konami allowed that. XCs, no, that's a lie. I was gonna say you could make it through playing. No, that's a lie. Synchros, you could definitely do it though. But we're back to where we were with XCs. Konami decides, oh no, we're gonna force the mechanic. We're not gonna force it. We're gonna force it. We're not gonna force it. So right now we're in an age where they're forcing the mechanic, and I mean it's not like with XCs where they just didn't support synchros. Like here, the rolling state, like you have to do it. So that's a really, really big issue for people who want to play anything that isn't main deck based. Anything that isn't like Light Sworn or Dark Magician. Or other things that I can't think of off the top of my head. So yeah, so they need to, like, honestly, right now, they need to expand the extra X base, which hopefully they will. It seems like they haven't really announced everything about Link Monsters because they're still kind of, as far as I know, to my understanding, like, if in this situation, if my Link Monster is destroyed, what happens to the Dark Rebellion? Like, do I just get to keep it there in the Monster Zone? Is it forced to move in there? If I have something where X-A Cannon is, what if I have two of them? If one of them's forced, what happens to the other one? Do I get to keep it? Is it destroyed as well? Because the link was broken. Those sort of things aren't, as far as I know, aren't really explained that much. So you have to kind of play Link Monsters. And then there's the issue of other cards that are actually, unfortunately, they're just not that good anymore. Like Tech Genesis Hyper Librarian. That card's not very good. Because you have the Link Monster, then you have Librarian, and then you, as far as I know, we only have like one other sort of spot there. And I mean, that's kind of, yeah, you can sync or something there, but are you really going to go for Librarian? Like, there's things like Excel Synchron, who's actually not too bad. Catastro's still not that bad, honestly. Armades is actually right now, I'd say the go-to level 5 synchro over Librarian. But yeah, so there's that main issue, and it addresses the issue of people setting up these insane boards of extra deck monsters, but at the same time, if you want to just kind of play your whatever non, Sun board deck, then, I mean, you're kind of out of luck too, because, I mean, you can, because, I mean, you can, but you have to, like, put those Link Monsters in, and you can really only have, like, one or two of them out at a time, and you can't, like, just sort of keep going. And it's really unfortunate that that's how it's gonna happen. I'm not saying I'm quitting Yu-Gi-Oh! I will still play Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't think I will ever stop playing Yu-Gi-Oh! There are formats where I've taken a break from Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, for example, in Dragon Rule format, okay, that's not true. I never stopped playing Yu in Dragon Rule format. It's just, Ace Master and I kind of just played each other without Dragon Rulers and stuff. We played our zombie and, gosh, what did I play? Because by that point, Planet Synchro was torched. Modoshes didn't exist yet. Or if they did, I didn't start them till Pendulum format, honestly. Ironically enough. But point being, I didn't play, I want to say I played Agents. That was the deck I played back then. But yeah, it's really slowed the game down, and which is good, but I feel like you're also hurting these other type of decks that are, I feel like something that would have been a lot better would have been like, oh, you can only special summon from your extra deck like once per turn, or something like that you can still do those types of things. And ironically or not ironically, but coincidentally, you're hurting Zoo, which is like, that deck's insane. But like, so you're still addressing the issue of the game being very, very fast, but you're not like making anything sort of not unplayable, but like, I want to say this makes it unplayable. You're not extreme hurting these sort of like casual decks and stuff. You're not like, be like, oh, well, you have to like play this new mechanic now. Like, you don't have to. You can just, play your fusion deck. You can play your Fluffle deck. You just can't Hyper Decay with it anymore. You can play your Lunar Lights. You just can't, spaz a bunch of stuff on the field anymore. But yeah, that's really how I feel about the Link monsters. I mean, my opinions might change depending on Link monsters and all that. But for right now, I mean, that's how I feel about it. I don't, even if they up the extra deck space, I feel like honestly that my opinion is not going to change too much. My opinion will be better. I will think better of them, but at the same time, I still don't like the idea of this whole mechanic being shoved down my throat like this. I didn't like it for Xyz format. I don't like it for this format. Pendulums and synchros. I mean, synchros, you could still play Lightsworn. That was before Lightsworn had a synchro. You could still play Glider Beast. You could still play, gosh knows, people still played Heroes. In Xyz format, and Heroes were still viable. Glider Beasts were still viable. Freaking Galleries were insane. Lightsworn was still decently viable. But, yeah, that's kind of how it is and everything. But yeah, anyway, that's sort of my opinion. I feel like I'm just kind of repeating myself now. But yeah, I'll probably come out with some more discussions on the Vanguard things, my opinions on a lot of the Yugo Paladin cards since Gurguit got a new card and a new Stride, and I play that deck. So yeah, anyway, this has been Natsu of Team Fairy Tail, signing out.